budget speech, India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman referred to India's micro, small and medium enterprises as the country's second engine, clearly underlining the very important role that they play to India's economic growth trajectory. She said that this particular sector employs over 75 million people, contributes about 36% to its manufacturing capacity and about 45% to India's exports. Now, in an attempt to further boost this very critical sector, Union Budget 2025-2026 has doubled down on credit accessibility to MSMEs with enhanced loan guarantee covers and also a renewed focus on digital transformation. But how will all of these measures really inject fresh fervor into India's MSMEs? I'm Miloni Bhatt and I have with me Mr. Rakesh Singh, who is the Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of Aditya Birla Finance Limited. So thank you so very much for joining us here today, and we're very eager to speak to you on your key takeaways on Budget 2025-26.
Thanks, Miloni, for having me.
All right, so my first question is, all new policies have been announced. What's been your key takeaway from this union budget?
So if we look at, I think government has really focused on two parts. One is the consumption, where the income tax relief which has been given to the salaried, and second, which is capex, and maybe I will add the third one, which is the MSME, which is the big driver of the economy. It contributes close to 1/3 of the GDP of the country, and as you mentioned in your opening remarks, it contributes close to 46% of the exports. This is a big driver of employment in the country, and that's one of the big challenges today. If you look at in the economy, we need to keep generating employment for our new force which is coming into the employment age. So really focusing and targeting MSMEs is the key takeaway from this budget, the way I see it. If you look at, they have really enhanced the credit guarantee covers, which is from 5 crores to 10 crores. Again, mentioning about the exports, to boost exports, they have really increased the eligibility of the MSME exporters to have a limit of close to 20 crores they can avail eligibility from the banks and the financial institutions. To boost exports, again, they are setting up an export promotion mission to really set up the supply chain or really support in terms of the factoring and enable credit, export credit. So these are the things which is really will enhance the MSMEs, and it's not only that, but they are also introducing a digital platform, Bharat Trade Net. This will complement UPI, and this will help MSMEs to really enhance and really take the export credit on this platform. Also startups, as you know, India is the third largest ecosystem for startups, and they're taking the limit from 10 crores to 20 crores for the startups. Also taking the overall fund of funds from 10,000 to 20,000 crores. Also, what is important is, see, this segment is and has been one of the big challenges is it's not formalized in a way so that banks or lending institutions can underwrite the loans to them. So to really address that, they have introduced a credit card, customized credit card for the MSMEs, and all MSMEs which are registered on the Udyam portal, they will be able to take up to 5 lakhs. And in the first, they are looking at 10 lakh of MSMEs who can avail. And this credit card will really build a transactional history of these customers. And once the transactional history is available, it makes life much easier for lending institutions to underwrite the loans or the financing which these MSMEs are looking for. The government has introduced up to 2 crore limit for women entrepreneurs with a focus on SC, ST and first time women entrepreneurs. I think that will be a big driver, because in our tier 3, 4 cities, a lot of women entrepreneurs are coming into the fore, and they also are really participating in the growth of the economy. So I think that will be a big game changer the way I see it. So these are my takeaways, and there's a big push towards the MSMEs, because That's the backbone of any economy, especially for India. And in India, it contributes close to 30%. And the Ministry of MSME is targeting to take it to 50% contribution to the GDP. And that's what we are really looking forward to.
That's the opportunity.
Yes,
right?
That's the opportunity.
All right. So, a lot of interesting takeaways from what you said, and we'll touch upon some of those aspects, through the interview. But the first thing is the budget has effectively doubled MSME credit accessibility and raised the credit guarantee covers, as you pointed out, to 10 crores. It has also raised operational thresholds, both turnover and investment for MSMEs. How do you see this reshaping the MSME lending landscape in the country?
So I think this is very, very exciting, and especially the turnover and the investment. The MSMEs don't have to be small. They can be big. They can think big. Aspirationally, they can look at a bigger turnover. So if you look at the turnover of MSMEs goes up to now 500 crores, and up to 500 crores also they can be categorized as MSMEs, and they can avail the benefits of credit guarantees and all, even if they are 500 crores. So both on the turnover and the investment, the limits have been enhanced by 2 and 2.5 times. So I think that's a big news, because the MSMEs doesn't have to think small. They can think big, they can aspire big, they can have a bigger ambition. So I think from that point of view, it's very, very important the way I see it. In terms of the credit guarantee, I think that's again a very important factor which drives credit penetration to these MSMEs. As we spoke, there is a challenge of formalization and established cash flow statements and all for these MSMEs. So how do you really support them? A lot of banking institutions and lending institutions use credit guarantee to really reach out to the MSMEs. So that's doubling it from 5 crores to 10 crores will help many more MSMEs and much bigger limits to be given to these small and medium enterprises. So clearly, and if you look at about us, and I will talk about Aditya Birla Finance, today close to 70% of our loans, the unsecured loans to MSMEs, are backed by credit guarantee. This enhancement will really help us to increase the loan amount and the eligibility basis the need of the MSME, and also our credit assessment. We can really look at a much higher loan amount for the MSME. So I think both these new introduction has really helped and will help the MSMEs going forward.
All right. You mentioned two things. One is the 2 crore term loan for women entrepreneurs, and second was the specialized credit card for micro enterprises. Now, any thoughts on aligning your product strategy to capitalize on some of these new things that the government has put forth?
Clearly. So if you look at, and first I will talk about the customized credit card which is being now offered and will be offered to the MSMEs, and the target which the government has put is 10 lakhs in the first year. So clearly, and this will enable, once the MSME has a card, they will transact on this card, they will build a transactional history in terms of what is the repayment behavior, what is the transactional behavior of these MSMEs. That over a period of time will help institutions to understand their needs and understand their behavior much, much better, so that more credit can be made available to them. Credit card to the MSMEs is just a start of this formalization which is happening. And if you look at formalization of economy is taking place over the last 6-7 years, if you see, in a big way post the digitization and GST, introduction of GST, and also registering on Udyam portal. And all of these credit cards are being made available to MSMEs which are registered on Udyam portal. Coming to the women entrepreneur, I think they are a very important part of our society and our entrepreneurial ecosystem. We are understanding this announcement. We will see how do we really participate in this and build products to really cater to this segment. So we are very, very excited, because this is a very important segment of not only MSME but our society and the overall economy overall. So clearly looking at how do we really reach out to this, leverage these announcements and these policies which has come from Finance Ministry.
All right, a lot of opportunities,
Yes.
for NBFCs such as yours. As you have mentioned earlier, the government this year has really emphasized on digital transformation through initiatives like the Bharat Trade Net. So talk to us about how your company leverages technology in order to streamline lending to MSMEs, and what can borrowers expect, especially with this renewed focus on deep tech skilling and digitization.
So if you look at majority of our MSMEs are micro in nature. So almost close to 95%, closer to 99% MSMEs are micro in nature. Their needs are small. The upper end of the MSMEs and the middle level, they are quite well catered by the banking institutions and the lending institutions like ours. I think the challenge is at the bottom end, which is the micro. Their needs are small ticket loans, and their needs are also very similar to what a consumer credit is, because they are sole proprietorship, they are the one-man army, or they are one promoter and 4 or 5 people working in the shop. I think there the needs are small ticket. So for that, what we have done is we have built a B2B platform, which is Udyog Plus. On this platform, we have built online digital journeys. And these digital journeys are, if you apply for a loan, we can give you a decision. And once the documentation is done, if it's done online, we can disburse the loan as well. So clearly targeting the lower end and the micro enterprises to reach out. This platform, which we have now, has now close to 23 lakh MSMEs registered on this platform. We launched it only last year, and we are seeing a lot of engagement on this platform. And it's just not about the loan, because their needs are quite diverse. They have to manage many other things, accounting. Because if they have to file returns, or if they have to do GST registration, accounting. So we are bringing in capabilities on this platform which can really meet their accounting needs. If someone is a slightly larger MSME, their payroll requirements are there, we are bringing through our partners payroll capabilities. So also on this platform, the protection, if they need a protection need, insurance for their shop or for their employees, all of that is available. So it's a one-stop shop which we have really built on this platform. To a question, how do we really go ahead and in terms of deep tech integrations and how will it impact? Clearly the way we are looking at it, that once the customer consent is there, I think lot of data retrievals will be online and digitally, and the customer doesn't have to really collect a lot of paper and data and submit it to us. I think it will be digitally, we can access the information of the MSMEs and underwrite them through our scorecards and really give them a loan when they need it rather than when we are able to process it. So clearly digital capabilities, so the turnaround times will be much better. Also, one of our focus is how do we make this entire journey very seamless and simple from a customer point of view, and that's what our focus area has been. So with technology coming in, I think the usage will be much more, and we have started on this journey. We are one of the first NBFCs to build a platform like this, and we really see that we reach out to smaller and micro enterprises at a large scale throughout the country. So very excited to really reach out, because in this segment, I think we will have to deliver product and services digitally rather than physically, which is a challenge for most of the banks and the lending institutions.
Right. So, while the opportunities exist, there also have been, certain demands from the side of NBFCs. For instance, the Finance Industry Development Council, which is the representative body for NBFCs such as yours, pre-budget, had actually put in a couple of demands, some issues that they thought could be addressed. One of the issues has always been better tools for loan recovery. That's one. The How do you think this will really provide the momentum to MSME growth?
So if you look at in the last 7-8 years, government has done enough and more for this segment, and as we discussed in the beginning of the interview, that I think the credit guarantee cover which has been going up, the credit card for the MSMEs, for women entrepreneurs up to 2 crore. I think a lot of initiatives and lot of for startups limit which is going up to 10 crores, fund of funds going to 20,000 crores. So clearly government has done enough and more for us to really capitalize and leverage in terms of the opportunity. And really what will happen is as the formalization of economy keeps happening through digitization, a lot of MSMEs are making payments which is digital. They are registering themselves with GST on Udyam portal. All of this will help and drive formalization. So that will help to really reach out and provide credit to these larger set of micro and small SMEs in a big way. So that's the way we look at it. So opportunity is there. We should look at how do we capitalize on it. In terms of our demands, whether the industry or the body, I think we expect that harmonization of regulations should happen, because especially for upper layer NBFCs, which are more, the compliance and governance structures are very similar to a bank, and now from a RBI supervision point of view also is treated like bank. So there should be harmonization of policies and regulations. That should help us to really go and really meet the demand of these small and micro business owners. So that's the way we look at it. In terms of refinance point which you mentioned for NBFCs. So as we know, for a housing finance company, there is a NHB which provides the refinance. For banks, RBI is the lender of last resort for them. For NBFCs, there is no one. So I think that is one part which government should, or RBI should look at, because I think that will help. That will help not from a point of view, it will provide confidence and a boost to this sector. So I think that's always we are looking forward to, and we are quite hopeful that as this sector and the industry keeps becoming bigger and bigger, I think that will come through.
So this is now my last question to you. Looking forward, how do you see the partnership between India's MSMEs and the NBFCs evolving or strengthening? What more policy measures do you think are needed?
So I really answered this in my earlier question. I think there is enough and more which has been done by the government. We have to see how do we really utilize these and also the usage of these policies. So credit guarantee, how many MSMEs are using this, making MSMEs aware of what they can avail of. I think that itself will really help. So clearly a lot of things are there on our plate. We need to address that, we need to leverage that, we need to create awareness in the MSMEs, because a lot of these small business owners, they're not aware of what they can avail, and that's the reason, one of the reasons is why we are really creating through our B2B platform Udyog Plus. We are reaching out to the larger small business owners, so that there is a platform, there is a capability which we have built. How do we take this forward and really address the bigger need of the economy? So enough to be done, and we are quite excited because at 6.5–7% Indian economy is growing, which is one of the fastest growing large economies in the world. And if we have to really look at the Prime Minister's vision of Viksit Bharat, I think MSMEs and SME has to play a big role. So today it contributes close to 30% to the GDP. It has to go to 50%. And I think we are quite excited that we are really there addressing the needs of this sector, and we will really capitalize on this and really help this sector to grow.
All right, and we wish you all the best. Thank you so very much for speaking with us.
Thank you so much.